Tonight, we're talking about fueling testosterone, the ultimate men's nutrition plan. My name is Aina. I am board certified nurse practitioner with a master's in public health, and I am the founder and lead provider of Apex Men's Wellness. All right. So why does nutrition matter for hormones? So hormones are built from cholesterol, micronutrients, and metabolic signals. So what you eat literally determines your hormonal environment. So testosterone is not just produced in a vacuum. It's built from what we eat, what we absorb, metabolize, and poor nutrition most definitely disrupts hormonal signaling and production. So what happens when testosterone drops? So men will tell you they a lot of them are not aware that that's the issue, but essentially when testosterone levels drop, they'll feel fatigue, mood swings, brain fog, loss of muscle, ED, low libido, weight gain, poor sleep. Let's see. It's really important for guys to know, and women, because women have issues with the low testosterone symptoms as well. It's really important to normalize these symptoms, to let guys and women know that they're not alone. And nutrition is often a major root cause behind these issues. Okay. So top testosterone killers in the diet. So I don't think that these will be much of a surprise to anybody because they're just bad overall, but these also specifically affect your testosterone levels. So refined sugar, processed carbs, industrial seed oils, canola, soybean. This one you're not going to be happy to hear, but it's a fact. Excess alcohol, and we know what kind of effect alcohol has in our lives. Okay. So BPA, endocrine disruptors, and packaging. So, there's just everyday food essentially that we have to watch out for, all these extra layers that set us back in terms of not just our health overall, but all the little parts, all the moving parts. Okay. So most men are unknowingly eating these things and it adds up over time. All right. All right, so testosterone friendly nutrition, what to eat. All right, so protein rich foods. We're talking grass fed beef, eggs, wild caught fish, cauliflower. As far as cruciferous veggies, broccoli, kale, and cauliflower. And then as far as healthy fats, we're talking about olive oil, avocado, nuts, and then for micronutrient rich foods, things like oysters, because they're really rich in zinc, and zinc is absolutely a must have in supplement list of every man that's on testosterone therapy. Then also dark leafy greens, which is rich in magnesium. Okay. It's really important to highlight how testosterone thrives on nutrient density, not restriction. So we're talking about sustainability, not just being satisfied. All right. Insulin resistance and low T. Insulin resistance and low T, the hidden connection. All right. So chronically high blood sugar and insulin, they blunt testosterone production and they promote that belly fat and estrogen dominance. In fact, it's kind of important to connect the dots between carb overload, metabolic syndrome, and hormone dysfunction. But it's reversible. Key is that it's reversible. When we're speaking about lowering insulin resistance, men with metabolic syndrome or insulin resistant often have suppressed testosterone. Okay. So, like I mentioned, it will blunt the testosterone production. So, in men who, in a study by the European Journal of Endocrinology, men who improve their insulin sensitivity through diet and lifestyle alone, so taking a low glycemic whole food approach, their testosterone levels increased by 120 to 200 nanograms per deciliter over the course of 3 to 6 months. So it definitely does, as you can see, even studies show that it definitely does affect your testosterone levels. But to truly replace what you're losing, you would need some kind of testosterone replacement, not just diet. But it's important to see how much enhanced your results would be and experience would be when you're also doing your part as far as the nutrition part. low glycemic, whole food diet, strength training. I cannot emphasize this enough. Strength training is just paramount in testosterone replacement. And it's like with everything else, GLP-1s, testosterone replacement. These are all wonderful tools that we have, but we still have to do our part. Key supplements, like I said, the magnesium, inositol, berberine, zinc. I didn't list it here, but definitely something to keep in mind that it's very important to also have in your diet. Now, moving on to peptides, the hottest thing now, peptides, GLP-1s, and metabolism. GLP-1s, they support fat loss and blood sugar control. So things like semaglutide, tirzepatide, which are the active ingredients of these peptides. And then there's also peptides such as CJC, 1295, ipamorelin. Those, they support growth hormone and lean mass. So these therapies essentially enhance what nutrition starts. So we have all these great tools, but we still have to have a solid foundation. And that begins with what we're eating, what we're putting in our body. Okay. So they are not shortcuts. The point that I want to drive home here is that these things are not shortcuts. These tools are exactly what they are. They are wonderful tools. Their science has enabled us to use, and they are wonderful. But again, they are synergistic. They cannot work in silo. We still have to do our part. Okay. So the Apex Meal Plan Framework. I don't really give rules. Okay, that's not what I do. What I do is I give structure. I help with giving you structure, a roadmap, and we do a simple hormone supportive eating that fits into your busy lives. Okay, you want to anchor every meal with 30 to 40 grams of protein. Essential, super essential, especially if you're doing peptides for weight loss, because you want to make sure that what you're losing is actual fat, not lean muscle mass. Okay, it's very, very important that you have someone look at your labs, look at your lifestyle, look at your, if possible, your body distribution, and essentially determine what your macros are and find exactly what your sweet spot is in terms of how much protein are you supposed to be putting in per day, per meal, when you're supposed to be doing this. All of these things are very important in how you achieve your goals ultimately. And in addition to the protein, you want to make sure you're including healthy fats to stabilize the hormones. You want to make sure the carbs are earned. So with that, I mean they're being used around workouts. Okay, so you're avoiding snacking, and again, you must hydrate and mineralize. And when I'm talking about mineralize, I'm referring to essentially we just said not too long ago. I just mentioned this about nutrient density, but I'm talking about micronutrient correction. So again, the importance of checking labs and seeing what's going on in your body. So with zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D, these are critically involved in testosterone production. Okay, studies correcting these deficiencies in these nutrients alone has been shown to raise T by, for instance, for zinc, 100 to 200 nanograms for this liter, especially in deficient men. Correcting magnesium can essentially bring your testosterone up about 70 to 100 nanograms per deciliter. So then vitamin D, that's a big one. I think everybody I see is vitamin deficient. I mean, I'm vitamin deficient. So just correcting that will yield 30 to 90 nanograms per deciliter when levels are normalized above the 59 grams per milliliter. So the biggest one here, which is the one I had already talked about and emphasized, truly is zinc. I mean, 100 to 200 nanogram per deciliter. So this is something that I really, really emphasize that my guys get, because you're not going to get enough of it. So do get a ZMA supplement to your, add that to your routine. Okay. Next, I will talk about this patient. I just call him patient J. And he basically is for a 42-year-old male. He lost 18 pounds. And with that, with nutrition, with peptides and labs and coaching, because he wanted to start with that first before going into testosterone replacement. And this is a collaboration. I don't like you have to do this. No, I like to give you the data, I give you the information so you can make an informed decision. I like to give you all the information. And truly, yes, testosterone replacement is what's going to truly move the needle. But again, you want to have a solid foundation so you can optimize your results even more. So this guy, he lost 18 pounds. And with that, he raised 125 points of his testosterone. And with nutrition, again, nutrition, peptides, labs, and coaching alone. I'm just going to give like a brief overview and summary of essentially what we just discussed. Correcting the micronutrients, again, zinc, vitamin D, magnesium, that will raise your testosterone by 50 to 200 nanograms. So that's quite a bit, you know. If you don't get anything else out of this conversation, make sure you're getting your zinc, guys. And then switching to high fat, whole food diet, that's another big one. That's 100 to 150 nanograms per deciliters. And this is the measure of testosterone, the unit of measure of testosterone that I'm talking about. Then improving insulin resistance, 120 to 200. And finally, losing 5 to 10% of your body weight, 100 to 250. So the studies are very clear. You have a solid foundation, you build a solid foundation, you will most definitely see results. And you'll feel it even more when you get on testosterone replacement, because it's going to enhance your results. It's going to optimize your mood, your libido, everything else. Your lean, you start putting on lean muscle mass and losing more fat instead of the other way around. All right, so how can we help? How can Apex Men's Wellness help? So we combine advanced lab analysis, hormone optimization, targeted nutrition, and peptides. So all under one personalized concierge care. So we are not we're not just a testosterone clinic. Honestly, it irks me when someone's like, oh, so you just did testosterone replacement? No, I don't do just that. I would have stayed where I was if that was the case. This is more than a clinic. You know, we elevate the experience. You know, we are a performance partner. And I don't just look at one thing and then go from there. I look at the whole picture. I like to get to a root blood cause analysis because yes, it's normal for us for as we age, we're no longer a hunter and gatherer. We're not fighting for our food, but we're sitting behind desks and we're getting, we're growing, we're living longer, I should say. So yes, naturally our testosterone is gonna dip, and no, we're not expected to have the same levels than when you were 18 years old and 20 years old. But normal, what you were told is normal, is not optimal. And you should live your best life. Adding life to the years, not years to life, is basically what I aim for. Okay. All right. So your next steps now is to book your free discovery call. Right now, I'm doing free discovery calls for about 15 minutes. You can give me a call and we can kind of talk about what your goals are. What is your why? Really, truly your why, and get to the root of things and decide which way to go. And or you can what I've had more clients do recently, and I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised by this, but I'm loving it. People are wanting to get to root cause of things. So actually, more of my patients that I've embarked on than onboarding, they have been wanting to do the root cause blood analysis. And right now, I am running a special on it. So you make sure you call us, text us, DM us, whatever, and just mention RCB, root cause blood analysis. I'll let you know what that is. And if you're interested in learning more, we can go from there. Okay. So go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. And like I said, I'm here to help. And this is where, you know, trust and conversations are built. So let me know if you have any questions and we'll go from there. It looks like I have some questions in the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and end the presentation and we go from there. And I can stop staring up here. You guys can actually see my face. Let's see. Oh, that's awesome. Yay. So I have a special person that's in my group of patients, and he's mentioning that he's feeling way better with after third injection of vitamin D, zinc, and magnesium, even after beat down. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Very cool. See, there you go. A live testimonial. I love it. Let's see, what other questions do I have over here? No worries, Jeremy. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you showing support and always being here and listening and learning. Okay, I'm trying to, all right, there you go. I'm gonna pull up some more questions because some people did email me some questions they wanted me to answer. And I'll give you that information real quick. All right, here we go. How do I know if my testosterone is low? So, I mean, this one's really easy. Just your symptoms. Are you feeling fatigued? Are you noticing that you have a lot of belly fat? How's your libido? Are you getting some brain fog? And this is basically why labs and symptoms matter. I don't chase numbers. I think that's a disservice to my patients, my clients. So it's basically has to be based on data, of course. The numbers have to make sense, but at the same time, your symptoms also have to make sense. Because I mean, what's the point if I'm just gonna say, oh well, it's 700, so that's okay. That's normal. Again, normal is not optimal. I don't chase numbers, and it's really important for me to listen to my patients, and it's a collaborative approach. Okay. Let's see. What is the worst thing I could be eating every day? Yeah. Again, seed oils, refined carbs, alcohol, and essentially these things, they increase inflammation, and inflammation suppresses hormone production. Okay. Let's see. Is intermittent fasting good or bad for testosterone? It depends on the individual. It can be helpful if done correctly. Because intermittent fasting, what it does is it benefits insulin sensitivity, but too much fasting too often can also, or calorie restriction, it can also backfire. So again, that's why we take a very personalized approach. What works for one person is not gonna. I mean, down to the DNA, down to our core, we're already very different. So it makes no sense when you go to these places and you have all guys in like once a week or all guys. You cannot do that. You have to truly look at each individual as their own with their own treatment plan. You cannot just treat everybody the same. What supplements actually help with testosterone? Again, zinc, I cannot emphasize that enough. Magnesium and vitamin D. Also boron and ashwagandha, tonka, I can never say this one, tonka ali. Those are, if they're clinically appropriate. That's the other thing. Always have to want to make sure that it's clinically appropriate. So don't just go buying stuff without, finding a provider that's going to watch you closely and check your numbers and say, okay, yeah, you could actually benefit from this or you could benefit from that. So always test before guessing. Okay. And then how fast, let's see. Oh, how fast will I see results if I change my diet? Some people, they see a shift. You start seeing the first thing people usually see is an improvement in their mood. Okay, so sleep, and would sleep within weeks. But labs themselves will usually shift. It takes a little longer for labs. It takes about 6 to 12 weeks. In fact, that's why I don't like contracts or things like that. So the only thing I do require for my guys, and that goes for like, depending on the program it is, there is a minimum time commitment, because I truly want people to have skin in the game. Like, I don't want people to just say, oh, it's been 2 weeks, I haven't felt anything, it's been a month. No, it doesn't work like that. For testosterone, you start feeling something within the first 6 weeks, but it truly takes about 3 to 6 months. And you may be thinking, oh my God, that's too long. I say that because that's what studies show, but most guys will feel it almost immediately, honestly. Okay, so I just try to manage expectations here. So someone said my levels are well into normal range. but I still have some low T symptoms. Is it safe to go up to levels over 800? Absolutely. Absolutely. So depending on the age group, what the expected or optimal range will vary as well. Because it's going to be different for what you expect to see in a guy that's in his 30s versus a guy that's in their 40s. But yeah, most definitely 1,000, 1,200. Those are still, I know those numbers will scare some practitioners, but we have studies, we have plenty of studies, and we have research, and it shows that absolutely for some people that is what's optimal. So for some people 800 is not optimal. Like I would say for a guy in their 40s, that's 800 is probably not optimal. But again, it depends on the individual. Someone may sit very nicely around 600, though I doubt it, but most guys would require a little bit more. Thank you for asking that, because that is something that I get asked a lot. Someone's like, well, my levels look like, is that you're going to stop giving me testosterone because of that? And I go, well, we have to see what's going on. What is everything else looking like? All of that is very important. And then, do I have to give up alcohol? You don't have to be perfect, okay? But alcohol is dose dependent. Even small amounts can affect your sleep, testosterone, and insulin. So that's I've been more intentional about not drinking as much. Actually, I kind of wait for now. I've been waiting for special occasions. Last night, I celebrated one of my best friends and her birthday, and we had very nice cocktails. But yeah, alcohol, if we're gonna be honest about it, kills brain cells, and it's just something that I'm honestly trying to consume less and less, and maybe eventually not drink it at all. But yeah. What's the first step if I want to work with you? That's an easy one. Just, book a free discovery call, or start with a root cause blood analysis. Again, like I said, I have a promo that's going on right now. Just mention, hey, I watched your webinar the other day, and you said something about a root cause blood analysis. I'm interested in that, and I'll get you taken care of. Okay. Let's see. I think I answered most of the questions that everybody had. All right, guys. So thank you so much for bearing with my technological faux pas at the beginning. But I hope you guys really enjoyed the information I provided tonight. And don't be shy. Reach out. The ball's in your court. We are just waiting to hear from you, and we'll take care of you. Call us, text us. Also, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media, okay? All right, y'all. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I am happy that you're in my care as well. And you're such a sweetheart. I have the best clients, y'all. I have the best patients. They're so cool. I love my patients. All right, y'all have a good night, and we'll see you. Call me.